Here is the Airbnb email. It says, you got to hear about this. This is my first time using Airbnb. After dealing with our exhausting winter months, I wanted to go somewhere warm for the entire month of June. So this must have been a year ago. I didn't want to go anywhere too crazy, but I wanted to go somewhere tropical, and I decided to go to Puerto Rico, seeing how it's a part of the United States. I don't need a passport. I don't need to do currency exchange or anything like that. So the hostess that I rented a room from was the most unhospitable, rude person you could ever meet. First, before my trip, we'd agreed for her to pick me up at the airport. I messaged her the night before, just as a reminder that I was coming, and she did not answer. I got to the airport. She was 2 hours late. And she didn't even call to let me know she was on her way until I'd been sitting there for over an hour and a half.
At that point, I feel like I would have gotten like a cab or something, because I would have been like, they're not coming.
Yep.
Her BF picks me up, and I'm like, okay, whatever. We get to her townhouse, and she had 2 dogs chained to the wall inside the living room by their leashes.
Okay.
These dogs were chained to the wall 23 hours and 50 minutes a day. The only time they were not was when a neighbor, not the owner, would take them outside.
Okay, this is me looking for a new place already.
Yeah,
This was alarming, to say the least, but I just tried to roll with it. Oh, let me tell you, as I tell you this story, just know it gets worse and worse.
Oh, God.
After a couple days staying there, I eventually started taking care of the dogs. The first morning when I woke up, I walked out in the living room, stepped in dog pee. I took my socks off right away. I left them on the floor, and then the hostess eventually came out and saw my socks. She says, "Why are your socks off?" I said, "I stepped in your dog's pee." She didn't care or even apologize. She barely acknowledged what I said. The next day, I went to the kitchen to make a sandwich for lunch. She approached me and says, "We have to talk. There was a blood stain in the shower, and I know it was you."
Uh-oh.
I was like, "Excuse me, it definitely was not me. You must be mistaken. I have no open cuts, much less the ability to drip blood onto the floor." And he said, "But maybe somebody else was there because other people are living here." This hostess continued to accuse me and got on my case about it. And the other people said, "It's you." So everybody agreed it was him, even though he knew it wasn't him.
Oh, gosh.
Let me remind you, that's only my 3rd day of being there.
And he's going to be there for a month.
Yes. I then decided I'm not going to stay here anymore. I called Airbnb and I told them everything. They had gone on from being picked up 2 hours late to dogs being chained to the wall, everything else. That made the hostess mad.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't mention the hostess didn't work. She lives off of Airbnb rentals.
Oh.
She got mad and started threatening to call the cops, and she did. I heard her on the phone talking to the police, which was in Spanish, and I couldn't understand a thing. I grabbed my stuff and I just left. I figured leaving the situation's the only thing I could prove to anyone and everyone that she was in no physical danger, as I'm sure no cop in Puerto Rico would believe a white American male. So I grabbed my stuff and I was leaving. She said, "You can't leave." I called the cops. I called the security guards at the gate. They're not going to open the gate to let you leave. So I took my stuff. I left anyway. The entire community area was surrounded by a fence with barbed wire. I hopped over not 1, not 2, but 8-foot-tall fences. Oh, 2 8-foot-tall fences with barbed wire. Had to do this after lifting my heavy bags over the fence. I broke my guitar. I had to throw that over the fence along with the backpack that held my computer. And I started heading down some godforsaken street. Luckily, I'd gone on a date with a girl before she came and got me. This was all around midnight. As we left the parking lot where she picked me up, we saw cops pulling into the gated community. We got out of there and got a place at a hotel where I am currently writing you this email. Oh,
this is happening right now.
Oh, this is going on right now. Oh, wow. I thought it was a year ago. The past 3 days, as you can imagine, have been a total nightmare of a vacation. The first one I've had in over 3 years, not to mention it was my birthday Saturday. Anywho, that's where my story currently stands. And I didn't mention all the scrapes and bruises I got as I fell several times going down these fences.
Oh, I'm sure.
I saw your show is on, and I thought I would send you this to let you know what's going on. No more Puerto Rico for me. No more Airbnb either.
He's there for another couple weeks. So I'm going to email him and be like, "Hey,
see what's going on." Yeah, that's crazy.
I've never had a bad experience. But I've had like a couple of Airbnbs that weren't like great. They weren't the nicest ever. But I mean, it's not like, I mean, there are so many different things you do. I mean, everyone probably has had a bad hotel experience.
Oh, yeah.
They have VRBO, which is also like basically the same thing as Airbnb that a lot of people use. That's what we used in Europe when Tina and I went, because Airbnb wasn't big there yet. And yeah, that is the nightmare, though. That's like what you are afraid of by going to stay in someone else's house, that it won't look like the pictures at all.
If you want to see the pictures of his scraped up, and you read the whole story again if you missed any of it, it's on DaveRyanShow.com. missed any of it, it's on DaveRyanShow.com. Coming up on KDWB, about 15 minutes away, we're going to play for $1,000 Beat Shazam.
No, because that's it happens on Monday.
Oh, it happens on Monday. Oh, sorry, I was all excited.
But but do you want people to call in that have horrible stories?
If you have one about that, I don't know that there's going to be a whole lot of horrible Airbnb stories.
Well, it doesn't be Airbnb specific, I don't think.
I guess,
yeah.
But if you got one that's, I don't know if you can top that one, but if you want to try it, I'd love to hear from Kay. I'd love to see you go to the iHeartRadio Music Festival. To go ahead and text it. Might as well try it. Text Lucky to 200. There's a lot of people go, I'm not going to play. I'll never win. Good. Let them go not play.
Yeah.
Then you take your phone, you text in, and you get an advantage of all those negative Nellies. Like, I'm not going to play. I never win nothing. That attitude. You're not going to win with that attitude.
Or that voice. Gosh.
We were talking to, I never got his name, and it doesn't really matter, but we were talking with a guy who was down in an Airbnb. Joe. Okay. In Puerto Rico, and he said, I'm going to go to an Airbnb. It was a horrible experience.
Yeah.
Everything from there were 2 dogs chained to the wall in the living room. He got accused of dropping blood and putting blood stains in the tub, which he didn't do. And then he said, I'm leaving. She said, you leave, I'm going to call the cops. I don't know why you're not allowed to leave. Isn't that called kidnapping when you're not allowed to leave?
Well, I think she was saying that because she was trying to say, like, oh, this is...
Well, yeah, she was going to make her money, too, and she put in bad reviews, which really affects other people renting her place out.
Still not illegal, I don't think, but whatever. So he had to crawl over 2 8-foot-tall fences, throw his bags over the fences. He scratched up his legs. You can see the whole review and the whole story, and the pictures are online on DaveRyanShow.com. So I thought, well, I don't know. I mean, have you ever had any bad travel experiences? So we got a couple of calls and a couple of text messages. Let me talk to Allie first over in St. Paul. Where did you try? Hi, Allie.
Hey, so it was actually my sister was staying at an Airbnb in Colorado. She had like a layover, was only going to be there one night. And so it was one of those ones where you go pick up the key and you don't actually meet the person.
Okay.
So she gets in the house and she said it's kind of in disarray. It doesn't really look like the pictures. Nothing looks weird yet. Until she gets into the kitchen. She sees all of these doors and different things that say, do not open under any circumstances.
Oh, jeez.
And she gets to the freezer and says, do not open. She's like, well, clearly I have to open this freezer.
Yeah, obviously.
This is creeping me out. So she opens the freezer.
No, wait. Stop right there. Stop right there.
Okay, let's guess. Hold on.
Oh, God.
Human head.
No, it won't be something that dramatic. I'm going to guess it's like food for like a snake or
That's
like
what I was
a
gonna say.
dead
Frozen
animal, like
bunnies.
frozen goose or something.
I'm going with human head.
That's a good guess.
Allie?
It is actually filled to the brim with live vaccines that this woman is not authorized to have. There are live vaccines in there for malaria and all these other just crazy diseases. And so she starts looking around the house at other stuff. This woman is a full-on prepper. She is ready for end of days. Has all of this like weird, creepy medical equipment. And so, like, she gets out of there, like, really quick.
Yeah.
She's not dealing with anything to have to do with these creepy vaccines. And so she reports this woman to Airbnb right away. Because for anyone staying in Colorado, this woman is not authorized to run an Airbnb anymore. They shut her down right away. But she got these nasty messages from this host. Like, I can't believe, how dare you do this and touch all my things. You're horrible. And just scathing. So that by far creepiest one I've heard.
I have to say, what kind of brainless, clueless person would even consider being an Airbnb host?
Yeah, exactly.
With a house full of do not touch, do not disturb. Just if you don't want people to do it,
don't do it.
Just don't do it. Allie, great story. Thanks for calling in. I appreciate it.
There's a text. 7 of us girls went to Oslo, Norway in August of 2018. We arrived to our Airbnb location that was advertised as in the center of the city. Quickly realized we were far from the city. The male Airbnb host texted us 30 minutes before check-in that his quote-unquote friend would show us the space and check us in. His friend was a female, not the male that we were expecting. The Airbnb we quickly noticed was nothing like the pictures. We got out of there, got to a new Airbnb within an hour. Later that night, we reverse image searched his Airbnb profile picture to find out it was a famous Norwegian soccer player, not our Airbnb host.
Wow.
We were catfished by our Airbnb host and Airbnb.
There's some that aren't Airbnb. They're just like bad
Hotel,
hotels.
yeah.
Here's one. It says, we went to Clearwater Beach, checked into the hotel room. There were condoms on the floor and sheets were dirty. The bathroom had used towels all over it, like somebody was staying in the room. Well, of course, we go to the front desk. They said, oh, sorry about that. Well, somebody would clean up the room. So they cleaned up the room, but still kind of an icky experience knowing that it was just, you don't want to see it anything but clean or dirty with your own stuff. Another one, I went up to Florida with my parents for a wedding. Woke up with bites all over my legs. Was either bed bugs or fleas. We left the next day.
Yeah, no. Steve recommended a hotel to me once, and I went, and when me and my friends woke up, we had bed bug bites all over our legs, so we checked out immediately.
Yeah.
Don't you take those home with you, though?
there.
We didn't,
You didn't take them home with.
Luckily.
I think Joe is on the actual phone. Joe, are you on the phone from Puerto Rico right now?
Yeah, I am right here talking to you right now.
My man, what has happened since you crawled over 8 fences and scraped up your legs?
Dude, that was just like half the story, man. Just wanted to keep in the email. But seriously, like as I was leaving her house, I had a date with this girl a couple days before. Luckily enough, she knew a little bit of English. But I called her at 11 o'clock at night. I was like, you got to pick me up. I told you about this lady. She's crazy. And she was like, what? I don't understand. Whatever, blah, blah. She comes to pick me up at midnight. But as we were leaving, the cops were coming in into the community and all kinds of stuff. And it was just super nuts. But this lady, she was just the rudest person. It was just super
that is
ridiculous.
crazy because
God.
I know we only have a minute here. Where you been staying since then? You're at a hotel?
Yeah, I stayed at a hotel at the Comfort Inn, and I actually was going to stay here for a full month, like I said, and I had a plane ticket scheduled to leave like June 30th or whatever, and I went through Priceline, and I even got the flight insurance to say if you need to change your flight, get the insurance, okay, to reschedule. So get this is so crazy. So their insurance policy only covers medical or medical emergencies or war, seriously, war situations, a war. I was seriously.
So you're stuck. You're stuck
God.
there until June 30th unless you buy a new ticket.
No, that's what I had to do. I bought a new ticket. And,
you're coming home.
Priceline wouldn't give me a refund, neither would Spirit. And I just said screw it. I just dished out another $300 for another.
Yep.
Yeah, I would.
When
I
are you
would
coming
too.
home, Joe?
I'm coming home today, actually.
Thank God.
Yeah, good.
Oh, my God.
What a disaster. He had wanted to go down there for the entire month of June, and now he's going to come home today. Hey, listen, that's some bad news. We do good news every morning around this time. What do we got coming up on good news? By the way, thank you, Joe. Tell us, okay?
Hey, let me share a story. Yeah.
Thank you.
The United States Air Force Academy recently